Good morning, guys. Welcome to Island TV right here on Win Media SKN. With me, as I'm featuring Jade, Gwen Adita, CPL Martha Stewart, Empress
Morning.
Bobby Johnson.
Good morning.
It is Friday, Jade.
Indeed, I just guess I'm ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all. That's all.
Yeah, it's Friday. We've made it as him.
Looks like we made it. Look how far. But Jade,
We're in it.
the end of the week, it's been one of those weeks where seems it's been a roller coaster, up and down.
Bye.
All kind of things happening. Uh, we had some interesting developments this week. Things happened this week that really just proved to me that, like, by the world is a ratchet place. Yeah.
Yes.
Even up to yesterday, the conversation we had, I've just been like pondering. Like, there's things that you've told me happens in life that I just not privy to. You know,
Yes, friend.
my experiences did not prepare
And
me
I
for those
hope
types
they
of.
never.
Oh my gosh.
But it looks like our favorite people from Antigua are ready to have a chat with us.
It's Friday, Jade.
Let's see. What's happened? Let me just fade them in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody there?
Just a few moments. I can see here, I'm getting a note from my friend in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, morning. How are you?
We're fine.
We're doing great.
Happy Friday to both of you.
Indeed.
Same to you.
Same to you and your listeners, Darren.
Yes.
Can't I
Good
see
morning
you?
to all my friends and family over there in St. Kitts and Nevis, not to be left out, especially those in Gingerland, Nevis, which the Premier of Nevis raised in his press conference, basically saying that anyone in Gingerland, Nevis, they too are affected by whatever decision is made that affects St. Kitts, Nevis. He had some very interesting comments last weekend. But on a regional level, let me say this. I just got information coming out of Dominica that the Secretary General candidate for Jamaica is being supported by India. So, there's a bit of a tussle going on with Baroness Scotland, the current Secretary General of the Commonwealth, against a candidate out of Jamaica, or supported by the Jamaican government, Andrew Holness and his administration. And apparently India is supporting that candidate. So Ken Richards, who used to be a part of the regional link-up, he actually sent me a message saying that India is now backing Johnson Smith, that's her name. So I don't know if y'all are following this whole saga, that's causing a bit of a rift within CARICOM. Have you been following? Or not really?
Not really. You're enlightening me.
Yes.
You're gonna have me to go and start doing the Googles.
Yes, do some Googles. Well, Baroness Scotland is a candidate that's supported by the government of Antigua and Barbuda, which is interesting in and of itself because the last time there was a battle, if I may use that term, for SecGen, for the Commonwealth, the government was backing a different horse initially. So people are saying, well, why is our Prime Minister making such a ballyhoo about Jamaica doing what they're doing? Because we basically did the same thing the last time around or in the last go. But in this instance, this all came to our attention, certainly came to my attention, when our Prime Minister, the Honorable Gaston Brown, made some comments in relation to Jamaica putting forward Johnson Smith as a candidate, and he thought that it was not helpful. Adding some diplomacy to the words that he used. Although, basically he was not impressed at all by the move by the Jamaicans and suggested that it was not one that was helpful toward CARICOM unity and so on. I'm paraphrasing. And Andrew Holness responded and said, in summary, look, he recognizes that there member government heads that are concerned about this candidate or concerned about Jamaica's position on this issue, and he will have the matter discussed at the next CARICOM meeting, which I'm not sure when that is, but it's coming up, I imagine. So they're going to have a discussion on that. But our Prime Minister was not amused at all, he made his feelings known, and Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he did not respond in kind per se. He just simply said, look, we know that you have concerns, and we're going to address these concerns in closed quarters. So we'll see how that all plays out. But Baroness Scotland, of course, she has her issues and her critics. People think that she abused her office in certain ways. And so there is some, as with any candidate who has been in office for a period of time, you're going to come with some kind of baggage. You're not going to be perfect. You're going
Right.
to make mistakes and or could have handled things differently, etc. And so she would have that baggage, whereas Johnson Smith, I guess, would be, coming with a fresh pair or clean pair of hands. I don't know if she has any skeletons in her closet per se that would militate against her candidacy, but we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see how it all plays out. But I guess to some extent, the common man on the street may not be so concerned about who is the next Commonwealth Secretary General. I think, perhaps it's just for, well, some people are interested in it, others not so much. But I just thought I'll share that one with you because it speaks to the nature of CARICOM relations at this point in time. I think to some extent things are not perhaps as they could be or should be as far as CARICOM unity is concerned. But I guess that's what happens when you have sovereign governments, right? So it's
Well,
like
yeah,
the European Union isn't completely all together either on certain things. I guess that's just natural. Just like you have families members of families who disagree with each other.
Yeah, it's inevitable, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, the thing is, though, one would hope that even through these disagreements, the way that it's handled, the way that the issues are discussed, and the way that everyone comes to the table is, with a common goal in mind, and
Yeah.
could at least be cordial in the discourse.
Could at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least. But I understand that there's some interesting things happening in St. Kitts.
Really?
With
Is that so? Wow.
Do
Yeah.
tell.
Apparently, PAM, which is a key member of the coalition, I would say the major party in the coalition, right? Is that fair to say, lady and gent?
Yes, they said they have the four.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have the four. They have the four. Literally and figuratively. They're having some town halls, in which they're airing grievances. Could you tell us about, have you guys been following these town hall meetings?
Well, one of us has actually been attending.
Oh, is that a fact? And which one is this?
Not
Or which
me.
one has been So, Azem, tell us.
Well,
Inquiring minds want to know.
well, yes, I think it's actually since last week.
Yes.
The People's Action Movement have been going from constituency to constituency, having a series of town halls, which they're saying is geared towards just touching base with the people and getting feedback as to what is happening in the different constituencies, concerns, questions, etc. And they've been fielding questions at all these town halls and answering questions on a wide range of topics. The thing is, as well, it seems as though this has been a platform as well to shed some light on the present situation within the Team Unity government and the players. It seems as though every town hall so far has shed a bit more light on some of the grievances, concerns of the
They have been quite interesting.
of the People's Action Movement. And last night, one was held in Connery Village, and it was no different. I'm sure as
What's at the heart of what's at the heart of the concerns of the supporters of the PAM?
Well, I think when we start talking about the concerns that's coming out of the town halls, they do range, they do span a wide range of areas, and generally tend to speak to what's happening in the specific community that the town hall is being held in. Not necessarily, wide-ranging topics, but speaking, specifically, for instance, there was a town hall held in our constituency number 3, which the People's Action Movement did not field a candidate. A Team Unity candidate actually ran there in the previous election. But there was talk about the need for for a community center, for instance, a need for work to be done on the sporting facility there, and stuff of that sort. There were some questions in relation to the relationship between the players in Team Unity, which were addressed as well. And that actually came up again last night, of course.
I'm sure it would have.
But yeah, that does seem to be the one common thread in terms of the talking points. As we go through the town hall meetings, what are some of the grievances, not necessarily of the supporters of the party, but of the players in the Team Unity coalition government. And they range from a lot of. I guess you could say, if I had to try and generalize it, I would say there seems to be a feeling that things that were agreed upon and promised have yet to materialize, as well as there seems to be a lack of access to information among the players outside of the prime minister, in certain key areas of the government.
Right. So is there talk of motion of no confidence, talk of early elections, any of that? Or people are still staying away from that sort of incendiary rhetoric, or should I say that nuclear option suggestion?
Well, that talk has been, on the streets. It has not come from the political leaders themselves, but
Not in that way.
yeah, but we have been following this, and we have now named the whole
Debacle.
the dissolve or resolve series. So we are now just going through the different episodes,
Yes.
and we are hoping that there is a finale.
Well, we had
in the
part
horizon.
one. We had part one, like the Avenger series, when
Yeah.
they had two finales.
Yeah.
We had part one on, which day was that? Wednesday.
Wednesday
And we're supposed to have part two on
next week.
Thursday. Next week, Thursday, I
Yeah.
think.
So there was a meeting between the leaders of the three parties involved in Team Unity,
Right.
the CCM, the PLP, and PAM, which it was really well. They were supposed to hear the grievances and see what the direction is, whether they're going to dissolve or resolve. The reports coming out of the meeting is that the issues were laid on the table, but there's more discussions to be had. The tone, as it's been reported, was frank and cordial, and and so we await to see what happens in part two of dissolve or resolve.
The season finale, hopefully.
Yeah.
The people of St. Kitts, you get a sense that people in St. Kitts want to go back to the polls, or they want these guys, these leaders, to sort out their business and get on with it?
Well, it depends on who you ask, to be honest.
As with most things.
Yeah.
I do believe that there is a general feeling that people would prefer if they were to get back to the business of governance, and just kind of handle business, even if there are supporters of some of the parties involved who believe that, hey, we should just, walk away and have a go at it on our own. I don't think necessarily there's a call for us to go back to elections. At least not that doesn't seem to be the major sentiment as far as I can tell.
And meanwhile, the Labour Party has been looking re-energized because they launched two candidates on Sunday, a Mr. Samuel Duggins and a Miss Marsha Henderson. So, they are just,
Okay.
although they've been...
And they have a relatively new leader, right? I had an interview with him.
Yes.
Oh dear, his name escapes me right now. But they have a new leader.
Yeah, Dr. Terence Drew. Dr. Terence Drew is his name. and he has taken over the reins from Dr. Denzel Douglas. So the Labour Party seems to be, yeah, Dougie. So the party does seem to be, like I say, getting new energy and moving forward. This year, for instance, is very significant for them. It's the 90th anniversary. So that speaks to just the history that goes along with it.
How many years did Dougie make?
Oh yeah, he just actually celebrated 33 years in Parliament. So
Wow.
yeah, there's a lot happening on that front as well. But their sentiment seems to be they're drinking water and minding their business.
Yes.
And focusing on and focusing on
Listen,
and their own their own agenda.
Yes, Darren, I want you to take a peep at Dr. Denzel Douglas's Facebook when you get some time, and you will see the messaging.
Okay. I will do that. And I think I'm going to avoid doing it now because I'm going to get distracted, I believe. So I think I'll stay away. I think I'll stay away from that. But I get a sense, though, this is just my sense, that as much as, the Honorable Sean Richards, Dr. Timothy Harris, and would it be Mark Brantley, right? Nevis?
Yes.
Yeah, Premier Mark Brantley, yes.
Are not, well, he had some very frank comments. I saw his presser, the Premier of Nevis. I shared it on Observer AM earlier this week, and people were like, wow. He spoke very frankly.
Listen, I don't know why you keep including Antiguans in my business. We're going to block y'all, We are going to block y'all.
Well, listen, the tables have turned because there was a time when my listeners would knock me and say, this is, you're airing our dirty linen in St. Kitts Public, and and we want to know what's going on down here. So, you see, the tables have turned.
Indeed,
and I'm happy that the tables have turned, at least for now, because things are going to heat up over here, because there is, elections are coming sometime between now and next March. And there's a big, I think there's some people that are offering wagers on when the Prime Minister is going to call elections. I'm in the school of thought that he's going to wait until certain things are sorted out, namely the water situation, because he knows that people are very upset about the water situation. So much so, every cabinet note that has come out, I think it's safe to say for the year so far that I have seen, have something to do with water and them getting reverse osmosis membranes and whatever else infrastructure to improve the water supply. So they know that that is something that the United Progressive Party is going to hang them with if they don't handle that properly. There's the issue of public sector workers. Several sectors within the public sector are not happy with monies that are owed to them, overtime pay. So he wants to keep, get that sorted out. So there are a number of things, housekeeping matters that I don't think, unless he's a real risk taker, and he doesn't strike me as a heavy risk taker. He's going to want to make those matters sorted out, at least to some extent, so that the United Progressive Party can't use them as weapons against him in the next election. They probably still might, but at least he wants to make sure that there's water flowing in the pipe, So he's going to want to address that. And he is also not going to want to call the election when the tourist season is in the wane, when there are more people maybe in the tourism sector not working. And that's at the end of April, right? Things start to slacken off at the end of April. I think that's the same all over the Caribbean.
Yes.
Cool off. It was over. So it's either going to be later in the year, this year, when things warm back up in the tourism sector and more people are employed, the economy is bubbling a little more, and early next year. I don't see him gonna. I think the speculation was he was gonna call it early, try to catch the opposition off guard, early up in the year, but that didn't happen. And now there's so many things that are happening and coming out of the woodwork, and the public sector worker protests and all the rest of it. So this is my bet. I may be wrong. Who knows? But let me put it this way. If I were in his position, I don't know that I would call the election now, because I think I have too many things. I have too many things that are not addressed for me to go and call the election and make my campaigning difficult. When I go to somebody to tell them about the wonders that I've done, and they tell me they haven't had water in the last 5 days, that's not going to fly.
That rough.
Yeah,
Has Darren, a question? Has there been a call for set dates for the election in Antigua? Has that been something that has been discussed in Antigua?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I personally have said so. Not that my opinion matters, I guess, but I certainly don't have the constitutional wherewithal to make a change. But yeah, I think there should be fixed dates. I think my friend Peter Wickham, who comes on my program and Observer Radio generally from time to time, he has been an advocate for fixed election dates. I think that's the way we should go. I don't like this uncertainty of, a prime minister can wake up, any prime minister, whether blue, red, what's the other color, orange, whoever, can just wake up one morning and decide, look, I'm going to call an election.
Yeah.
Look at what happened in Barbados. I mean, granted, it worked out well for Mia because she's in a very different position, I suspect. I mean, the opposition here is not the opposition in Barbados, or I should say the opposition in Barbados is not the opposition here.
Right.
The opposition here is certainly in a better position than they were in the last general elections when they were caught flat-footed when he called the election early. And the fact that they had a bit of a splintering in the party because of Joan Messiah's exit and so on and so forth.
Right.
The opposition now is certainly a lot better put together, and he knows that. And that's probably why, too, he hasn't called the election, because he knows they're going to bludgeon him with these issues that are unresolved. But yes, going back to the question, I think there should be fixed elections. I don't know that there's been a clamor for it. I'm not sure what Harold Lovell, the leader of the United Progressive Party's position is on it. To be honest with you, at least I can't recall. But I think that we should have fixed elections. I think that any modern democracy, that is the way we should go.
Yeah.
I just think that's the way we should go. Granted, we have the Westminster system, and so I think that's what they do in England, and we adopt that Westminster practice, which is the Prime Minister can call whenever he sees fit, but I don't like it. I think I like certainty. And economies generally like certainty, and that is uncertain. See, we're all guessing when he's going to call
everybody's speculating. I think what it does too, it keeps the population in a state. It's almost like you're always in campaign mode, right? So there's never a reconciliation where everyone kind of gets together and work out. Okay, at least for the next 5 years, 4 years, whatever it is, that we are working towards, the betterment of the people. You're always in this campaign mode because you never know exactly when, this thing might happen. Or
correct.
It's rough. Has there been talk? Has there been talk about term limits as well?
Not really, no.
Wow,
that one I can say no.
That's interesting. I find that very interesting.
Right? Because that's all we hear about here now.
Definitely no. No. I know that when people are in opposition, they always want term limits because the person, especially if the incumbent has been in power for some time. But when the opposition get into power, I don't know.
Not that
the
important.
Conversation about term limits is not that important. Oh, we have more priorities to deal with.
More pressing issues.
Pressing matters at hand to deal with in the country.
Yes. Anyway, folks, listen, today's short because I have a guest. Y'all want entertainment this morning?
Who's your guest?
Huh? Y'all ever heard of a young man by the name of Menace?
Oh, there's Menace up there? Yeah, man. What do you mean?
Yes.
As
Yes. Y'all want to hang out with us for that?
Yeah, we could do a few minutes.
Jade
sure.
doesn't.
No, I don't.
Jade.
Menace, he has a song with Lucas as well.
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, Menace is going to join the link up. Sounds like Azem's game. Azem, can we play a few commercials while we sort that out? And then we'll be back with you.
Let's do that. We'll be right back, guys.
All right. So we'll have one big party because next Friday we're not going to be here. We're going to do the whatchamacallit. Next Friday is Dukana with raisins and cherries day. I won't be here. We're having it's Good Friday next Friday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
What are you saying?
I was so confused.
I don't know. Who is this man's chef? Like,
All right.
Let's spread those propaganda out there. What cherries?
Yes, maraschino cherries.
Who does
Cut up
that?
in little bits. You'd be surprised. It's good stuff.
Darren, you might get your Caribbean card revoked.
Anyway, we're going to pause for a cause. The technical director will share some messages with you, and we'll be back with our friends in St. Kitts. We'll have an entertaining.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Get your property properly covered today. Constructing your dream house or considering renovating your property? We will make sure your property is properly covered at Guardian General Insurance. Yes, at Guardian General Insurance, we will ensure that your property is properly covered with our private dwelling and contractors all risk promotion. Visit or call us today and get affordable rates, premium financing arrangements from now until March 31st, 2022. We will properly cover fire, lightning, explosion, thunderbolt, bursting or overflowing of water tanks and apparatus pipes, burglary, theft or larceny, impact by road vehicle, riot, strike or malicious damage, hurricane, earthquake or volcanic eruption, flood, collapse due to subsidence of landslip, loss of rent, cost of temporary accommodation, and much more. So get your property properly covered at SL Horsford and Company Limited, local agents for Guardian General Insurance today. Special terms and conditions apply. Call today at 869-465-9355 for further details.
Jade?
Hi.
Oh, you're still working? Hey guys, welcome back to LNT as we wait to resume the Cross Caribbean link up. Yeah, Jade, it seems as though the issues that we're having here politically have been, causing a stir even outside the St. Kitts.
They just got the whole Caribbean in with business now. just got with business on the road. The Caribbean streets.
Yeah, I mean, the Deputy Prime Minister last night shed some more light on why he, has been absent from cabinet.
Wait. Before we go into that, because they look like they're in them ready?
Yeah, we're going to jump into it.
Okay, yeah. We're going to chat to y'all a bit more about what happened at last night's meeting after our regional link-up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know y'all want the tea. That's why y'all are here. So, let's jump right back in.
Technical director too.
We're back with you,
Yes, there we
Azem.
go.
Jade Azem.
Yes, we're here. And I see you have a superstar in your midst.
We do have a superstar in our midst. Yes. Good morning, Menace.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fat and fabulous.
Yes. That's why you're having a fitness jam.
Yeah.
Mood.
I'm
That
the
is
first
a
one to
mood.
come out under bat for this one.
I see.
So I'm going to be the test subject.
The test subject.
For all the protocols that can be observed
I see.
in the sense of a T-shirt mass format.
I see.
Yeah, so June 11th, look out for it, Fitness Jam, Burn It Fitness Jam. We'll be going to the south side and we're moving from Erlins to Old Road and back down.
Why the south side? Charity always have to begin at home?
Country, every single day, country must say.
All right.
Yes.
Anyway, I understand Menace has some music for us, so let's
Don't jump the gun already.
Oh, don't jump the gun? Oh, I'm too anxious?
Yes, you're too anxious. I see you're nervous, man. You're sweating.
Yes,
So I pulled this song out of a vault I have, and I wanted to basically get your feedback on it. You know what the abbreviation of WAP is? WAP.
No, I don't actually.
You know?
No, I
You
don't.
shouldn't. Azim, you know the abbreviation over there? What is WAP?
Yes, actually, yes.
Yeah, Darren, come on,
What's
Darren.
WAP?
Darren, you're not in touch with the local lingo, man.
What's WAP?
WAP is an international song. Come on, Darren.
What's WAP?
WAP, all I can tell you, when you go home,
Uh-huh.
tell your wife to bring the WAP when she comes.
She might know what it is.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll tell you. I'll tell
Wings
you
and pizza, Darren. Wings and pizza.
You see, wings and pizza, you have wonderful, ambitious personality.
Yes.
So you just go and tell the babes, man said to bring the WAP for me.
Wings and pizza?
No, you can use different lingos. You have wings and pizza, but in this term, we're using wonderful, ambitious personality.
Right. That's you.
No, that's her.
Oh, that's her.
Yeah, very, very important. Only say to females.
Oh, you only say to
Only,
females.
yeah, it's just a rule. Right, Azim?
Indeed.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Very, very much. Let me say big up to my friends over in the Mac Night and Sandy Point, big up the whole people them one time,
Yeah, man, you're getting some love over here on the live as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wanted to, since we're right on the topic of the WAP, this is the release for this year. And what I'm doing, I'm collaborating with different artists in Antigua.
Okay.
So this one features Dior. I'm not going to give you so far because your demographic of your audience is a little tight wedge sometimes. You start with politics like a while, I can't give them this so early in the morning.
You'll be surprised.
So I'm going to give you about 50 seconds.
Okay.
So you're going to make your interpretation about this in 50 seconds.
This a connection with the WAP with this
Yes,
song?
yes. So always remember when they go home today.
Why are all of you looking at me?
Tell her,
Everybody here is looking at me.
many say to bring the WAP when she coming.
Sound advice. Sound advice.
Don't listen to me. Bring it to me. Just tell her, bring it to me.
I feel like I'm on the Siege in studio.
So this is a perfect fusion between soca and soca, dancehall, Spanish, merengue, and also hip hop. So Darren, I'm bringing this song for you. It's personally for you to take home to your wonderful wife.
All of a sudden, it's for me. Personally.
Yeah.
So what happened to Azim?
Azim gonna use it too.
Oh, Azim. Okay.
I have already set my phone to record. I cannot wait.
50 seconds only, please. I don't want to upset Robin Buddy the wrong way so early in the morning. Let's go. Sexy girls, bring them out. Yes, just bring them out. Sexy girls, bring them out. 7 days a week out. Sexy girls, bring them out. Just bring them out. Sexy girls, bring them out. Magnus is royal. Bring you up on the road. Just bring you up on the road. Just bring you up on the road. Just bring you up on the road. You know I like it well. You know I like it juicy. You know I like it well.
Okay. The 50 seconds are up yet?
You know I like it juicy. You know I like it well.
Okay.
Darren, buddy, are you okay over there?
So wonderful, ambitious personality.
Darren,
It's very essential for that to be on the road during Carnival.
Darren,
Yes, Jade.
are you okay over there?
Yes, Jade.
I could see a sweat for the
I'm
glass,
trying to be
so
okay.
I'm just making sure.
So it's wonderful. Darren, remember this, very important. Wonderful, you can say wings and pizza.
Yes.
Or wonderful, ambitious personality.
Oh, Lord.
Very important. So that song is called WAP on the Road, very essential for Carnival 2022, encouraging all the young ladies to bring their wonderful, ambitious personality on the road for us to have a wonderful time.
Amen.
So I
Amen and
encourage
amen.
you to- Yeah, amen.
Jade
this is
seems
what
ready.
you've been up
James seems ready to come to Antigua as we speak.
That's a good idea, Jade. You
No,
can
y'all ain't
come
want me
over,
over
enjoy
there. I gonna
yourself.
cause too much ruckus. Yeah,
Oh
quote
Lord,
me.
you know these people over here are killing themselves over here with laughter at my expressions. But let me ask you, what are your plans for this carnival? This
Well,
year?
to release new music, this is 1 out of 10. I'm releasing different songs with different
Why you
vocals.
release this one first?
No, I brought this one. This is not releases yet. This is
This is not
exclusively
released.
just for Darren Matthew.
You just
Wild
wanted
Show.
to see
Yes,
it
I
turn
just
purple.
wanted to see a reaction, and it's priceless. Yeah, master. Not for that one day.
Well worth it.
Well worth it. So what we're doing is preparing for the carnival. We're going to release a song every week from now on, just to get the persons excited. We're still we're there, but we're not there yet. Everybody is still waiting for this big bang to happen.
Right.
So we're just trying to use the music to generate that type of atmosphere, so we can bring the WAP on the road. It's always important.
What impact has the pandemic had on you, if any?
What?
Positive or negative?
Financially, mentally, socially, economically, anyone you want to use, Lee's and them, the COVID has brought a lot of things into perspective. Really, it's something that I really thought was necessary. It was a necessary evil. I focus in on what I needed to do for myself personally, cherish a lot of things more, and I'm not taking anything for granted.
Okay.
So this Carnival season, you're going to see me all in Queen Show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm going into Calypso Show, Panorama. If I can, I'm starting to train to now talk to Canada to train for Hell's Gate. I'm going into Queen Show. I identify as a lesbian. And I'm just making my way to all the different spots of it. I have a car for the car show. I have bands for the Teen Wave. I'm going into every single
You're
thing.
going into the Queen
Not
Show.
taking anything for granted. I'm not sure after here.
I don't know
shut
if
down
you'll
there.
qualify for the Queen Show, Menace.
What do you mean?
Can you qualify?
You're shaming me.
That's
Darren.
why you're
What-
No, I'm asking.
What, you're judging me, Darren?
No, well, I mean, that's why you're going in here like that?
Blame on COVID, yes. One time.
I believe this is
Anyway,
all. I believe so.
as
Now I
I'm
believe.
playing-
Now I believe that the soca fitness is all part of his preparation. It seems as though it's all coming together. Full circle.
it's all
Full
about-
circle.
I've been in the gym for 2 months now. Yes, been in the gym for 2 months now, doing some questionable exercise. I had one that strengthens the groin. I didn't know I needed that exercise. So I'm doing my best to really keep fit. Big up to Tito Thomas, my trainer, who tends to embarrass me every single day with some strange exercises.
Just like you trying to embarrass me? With
No,
this what business?
all you have to go tell your wife
Uh-huh.
that when she comes home tonight, Darren, bring the WAP. If she bring wings and pizza, marvelous. Yes.
You know, my banker is messaging me and wants to know why you're treating me so.
No, we're good friends. but I also have another song for a little bit more subtle, a little bit in the area of your liking. And this one is called Brave. I think Ellis has this one day, one time.
Okay, let's listen to this release. This is a new release as well.
Yes. All for 2022.
All 2022 releases from Menace.
Menace. Yo, I have to do this. Welcome to my island, where we party and we drink rum. And we summer festival is the greatest one of them all. So we jump up and jump like you don't care. So everybody said for this country, let me see your hand in the air. And let me jump right now. All those who came before us, peddlers and masqueraders, even the streets and vendors, let me jump right now. All local entertainers, taxis and organizers. Now everybody say, oh, we do with it 'cause we brave. We represent what that lay. Nobody can jump like we now. Oh, we do with it 'cause we brave. We represent Symphony. Nobody can jump like we now.
Menace.
Yes. So that one is called
My
Brave.
friends are telling me
Tune.
what this WAP is all about, you know.
I just got a message from Petra. She says, thank God she has the WAP. You know what that means?
You know what?
She said, thank God she has the WAP.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Darren, this song was fused to create a type of performance on the road, and I think it's going to deliver. So you just make sure you tell her the WAP. Petra, big up yourself with the WAP, and big up to all the persons who have the WAP. Hey, it's good to have a wonderful personality.
Indeed.
I think that's a key element. Yeah, key element of life.
Necessary.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Menace, that song you just Menace.
Dying, you're dying.
That song you just released there, right?
Amazing.
But tell me that there sound like a song that can mash up Soca Monarch. Is there a plan to go in for a Soca Monarch competition this year?
Well, as I said, I have 10 songs to release, but this one is the future. What we're looking for as representing or defending the crown this year.
You see, I
But
could hear
if the WAP can go with things, I'm going to change it to the WAP. And Darren, like he likes the WAP.
it. Obviously.
Yeah. I see, big up.
You see how he keep bringing. You see how he keep going back to that. You see how he keep going back to that, right?
No, you should see. The persons who are not noticing, you need to go on Facebook and watch that. Darren is turning red in here. Look what. Darren,
No, we can see him clearly, man. We can see him clear as day.
Yeah, Darren, let's cry out. Oh my, come on, Darren. Wonderful, ambitious personality, or if she's at a food store, wings and pizza. Very important. Yes. So do you remember Burning
Get
Fitness?
this man some water, please. Somebody get this man some water.
Somebody need to bring a tissue for me, please.
So, oh boy, Darren, I feel it for you. This one was specific to you, man. I must tell you. I'm glad you like it. I'm
not inviting you back on my program.
Burning Fitness Jam, June 11th. Do remember registration opens today. Packages are extremely limited due to the capacity that they gave us when we got an approval. So, first comes first served basis. And if the ladies,
how much are the packages? How much are the packages?
$75. Okay. Groups of 10 and more, we get $60. And if you have the WAP, we give you $50.
Oh,
I like it. I like it.
how are you determined? How are you determine?
There are many ways to determine the WAP, my dear Darren. I think you know a few, but I will leave it just
this is a slippery
when you
slope.
interact with somebody, you know that a wonderful, ambitious personality, Darren. Darren is going crazy. Darren, come on, Darren. Look.
And all they are over there doing is laughing.
Hey.
What can
Anyway,
I do?
Jade.
What can I do but
What's
laugh
that?
at you currently?
Oh boy, Darren.
The technical director says we need to share the one commercial at least. Can you just pause for one and then we can wrap up with Menace for another 5 minutes or so? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure, we could do that, definitely.
Let me go catch myself. Let me gain my composure, please.
Guys, we're going to take a short break and be right back.
Hopefully.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Bust a move. Door busting savings happening now. Horsford's Automotive is busting loose. Huge door busting discounts on all 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seater buses. Bust loose with as much as $25,000 off on all 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seaters. Yes, up to $25,000 off on all 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seater buses. But that's not all. Down payment busted. Absolutely no down payment. Payment on bill of sale. Busted. No payment on bill of sale. Payment on servicing for 12 months. Busted. Free servicing for 1 year. Buy groceries on gas for up to 3 months. Your choice. Busted. Your choice of absolutely free groceries or gas for 3 months. Payment on registration and licensing, tinting and accessories. All busted. That means they're totally free. Horsford Automotive is busting loose with its Bus a Move sales event on all 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seater buses. Bus a Move and get your new 2020 Nissan Urban 16-seater today for as much as $25,000 off. Bus a Move now at Horsford Automotive. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Hey guys, we're back with Island T. Let's jump right back into the Cross Caribbean link up.
Hi Jade, yes, we're back. All outside in this station, they're like, Darren, you don't know what WAP is? Really, Darren?
I just love the fact that you are the one that keeps bringing this back up.
But you see, it seems as though he has a really big interest in the WAP.
Fascinating.
WAP, yes. I think you're current shareholder in the WAP.
You not tie me up this morning, no. Any more than I'm already tied up. I hope my wife is not listening.
I hope she's listening.
You hope she's listening?
I gave you some homework to do. Thank me later.
I'll thank you later.
Yeah, let's tell her bring the WAP. That's all. Wonderful, ambitious personality.
Okay.
Very, very important. Darren.
That's why I married her, because she has a wonderful
Yes, Darren. She has the WAP. All right, I like that.
Jade, you love nonsense, you know, Jade.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Anyway, Carnival 2022.
It's on.
It's on. Outside of you're going to be releasing music.
Yes.
You're going to be participating in the various competitions, as you've mentioned. Did I hear you say Calypso?
Yes, I'm going into Calypso.
You're going into Calypso
Yes, I'm going into every
So
single...
one of the 10 songs is going to be a Calypso?
Yes.
At least one?
Yeah.
You have had 2 songs now.
Yeah, I'm a good man. I've been doing a lot of writing during the COVID period. There was not
So
necessarily.
yeah, plenty material.
Too much material.
You hear the laughter in the studio, Menace?
The WAP is always a good thing. The WAP is always a good thing.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so let's go back to the. So you're going to be entering the Calypso competition.
Yes.
So I mean, you're going to tent. I haven't heard anything about tents though.
I'm going every single way.
You're going every
Once
single
there, I'm going to be in the clubs, the bar. I'm going to start right from scratch and to build the momentum back into where I left it. As you know, the populace right now is still coming in slowly but surely, and we want to get everybody excited because it's the excitement that brings you to Antigua for the carnival.
Okay.
So we as artists, we are ambassadors. We need to just put out our music out to get the spirit back, so we can have a wonderful season 2022.
Do you think you're going to come out of this stronger? Come out of this pandemic and the period, the lockdown, no carnival, all of that, stronger? Or how would you characterize the impact the pandemic? I mean, you said that it has impacted you financially and, of course, as an artist, creatively, and so on. But in terms of you as a person, you as an individual, how do you see yourself coming out of this, going into this carnival?
I'm way more defined.
You know yourself more?
Yes. I have a lot of different things in perspective. I've done away with the hype. I noticed that that didn't materialize. So it's more like substance. So I'm creating different songs and different going into different avenues to really stay focused. And I'm preparing for if something like this happens again.
Okay.
Because it was very unexpected. I wasn't prepared at all.
I understand. I don't think anyone was. As MJ, do you have any questions for Menace before we wrap up?
I actually do. Who is the gentleman on the Burn It Fitness Jam flyer?
That's me before COVID. I'm just trying to get back to my wonderful physique. So haters may say it's Photoshop, but we don't believe in haters.
Right.
That's me.
Thank you for some
Haters gonna
clarity.
hate.
Yeah, haters.
You have to move on. Yeah, go ahead, Jade. What was that?
I said thank you for the clarity.
Yes. I'm packing. Everything is good.
And Azem?
Well, no, I just want to wish you good luck. I just want to really wish Menace good luck in all his endeavors in the upcoming season, particularly the Queen Show. I'm sure you'll have a lot of support for that, and wishing you all the WAP that comes your way.
Yes.
Yes. Very good. Yes.
Hello. You wishing him all the WAP that comes his way?
Yes. The people with a wonderful, ambitious personality.
Okay.
Darren.
We can't wish you the same,
focused.
Darren. We know
Pick up the snake, it's
we
awesome.
know where yours lies, so we can't wish you the same.
Oh, okay.
I listen to the Stankids on that music festival. Oh, you have me craving over there, boy. I want to go down.
When is your music festival?
Boy.
When is your music festival?
You hit hard.
It is the last
guys hit
weekend
hard.
in
June
June.
the 24th or the 25th. One of those
Oh,
two days.
you hit hard.
Yeah, Music Fest is back.
We need to get a ferry from here to St. Kitts. I can do it at 2 hours or 3 hours on a boat to witness that. I really love to.
Are
be
you
over
going to
there.
be participating?
No, but I want to be in the action.
You want to be in the action?
There are a lot of WAPs over there.
Okay.
Jade?
Sugar City.
Huh?
Yes, Jade, let's hear you.
Let's hear me on what? What was the question?
No, he made a comment. He said
No, I think you would agree with him more than I can.
there's a lot of wonderful, ambitious personalities here.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very important. We got to Rockers HE every single time. Burn the Fitness Jam, the registration opens today. If you're interested in getting the packages, call me now, 783-9150, or check me on Facebook and you get all the information. Darren, tell her bring the WAP. Very important.
Hopefully Darren is at the Fitness Jam as well.
Darren, something is wrong with Darren over here today, boy. I don't know what's going on with Darren. Darren, what
Seems
is
to be
normal?
malfunctioning today.
It's normal, Darren. Embrace the WAP, Darren. Embrace it.
Azem and Jade, have a wonderful Friday.
Indeed.
I can see y'all smiling away. Y'all advertising for Colgate or y'all dentists. Y'all dying. You know, have a wonderful weekend.
I'm just so happy
Azem
that we
and
stayed
Jade.
for this link
I
up.
see you use wonderful. You see, you like to use wonderful now. I think that's a good word for you. The word of the day is wonderful.
Indeed.
And it's to put ambitious personality behind.
Indeed. Well, guys, thank you so much for allowing us to sit in on your interview. It was
Boy,
it was
thank the
definitely
Lord.
enlightening.
Small mercies.
It was wonderful.
I think the interview went off the rails.
You
Yeah,
you
pretty-
think
pretty
so?
fast.
I don't think so.
Yes.
It felt
You
fine
don't
to
think
me.
so?
No.
Yeah.
I feel as though you got
Yes.
a bit of an education and actually some great advice from your guest.
Let me shout out Brockway Studios for creating this track. Big up to Puff last night in the studio and was very very in-depth mastering this for you this morning. So big up to Puff for that one.
Oh, so he a part of the
Yes,
conspiracy.
it was like I had to get this one to Darren. So big up to Puff for that one there, and I'm looking for more things coming out.
Peter expect a letter from her lawyer.
She just told me that she's glad that she has the watch.
She say expect a letter from her lawyer.
The views of Menace is not necessarily the views of News Corp. Anybody in this part. Darren is solely in that by herself.
Okay.
Yeah, disclaimer.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great week. Thank you so much for being a part of Observer AM. Thanks to Menace, thanks to Jade and Azem over there at Win FM in St. Kitts, Sugar City. Blessings to everybody. Be safe. We'll see each other on Monday morning, Lord Spirit Collective Lives, for another edition of Observer AM.
Jade, what a morning it's been.
We might need to change Wednesdays to WAP Wednesdays.
Jade, you see, that's why you're the producer, you know.
That is why I'm the producer.
That's why you're the producer.
Yes.
You just have these brilliant ideas.
Brilliant.
Let us execute.
Yes. Darren almost had 3 heart attacks back to back.
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
look that way. One of them he probably still recovering from.
Yes, I loved it.
Hey, big up to Menace one time, man. Always show St. Kitts love. Like I said, I know he and Lucas have a very cool relationship, and I know a lot of he has a lot of fans here in St. Kitts.
I bet he did just gain some more.
Yeah.
I bet he just gained some more.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we could stop and laugh and thing and whatever and talk about the fact that he really lives up to his name. But
Madness.
at the end of the day, he really does have some great soca music.
No, I could hear from just the little snippets that I heard just now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I might have to go look him up.
yeah, and I think he in some of Ruckus videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that was shot in Trinidad, he in the video.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Follow him on Instagram. Let me see what's happening. That flyer is hilarious, I'm not going to lie. But let's jump back home to some interesting news, interesting developments at the end of the week. Yes. So, income support for unemployed residents of the nation. Guess how much money they are now receiving once you are unemployed in the sweet federation?
If I had to guess, I mean, a bread and cheese, you know, you get it for $5.
5 where?
So. Per month, you said? For bread and cheese.
$5. I don't know why bread and cheese for $5.
Half a cheese gone up? How much is a half a cheese now?
$5.50 for the small one and $7 for the big one.
Okay, hold on there. Since when we have sizes and we're talking about half a cheese, is a half with cheese?
Oh yeah, that's true. There's a big one and a small one.
How there could be a big half and a small half?
In me, just do it.
Watch it. This is the problem I have here, you know. We out here discussing things like what to do with the CBI money, and these are the problems we need to be discussing.
The
real issues facing the nation, Jade. First thing, how you gonna have a half with cheese, big and small?
Yes.
A half is a half.
No. There's a half of a big bread and a half of a small bread.
And then on top of that, it should be put in legislation that a half with anything can't go over $5, Jade.
Too late for that now, friend. Breakfast is very expensive.
That is the problem. We're not focusing on the issues that really affecting the people.
No, we're talking about CBI and all kind of stories.
CBI and what to
and
do.
and term limits and all kind of stories.
It took me at least 4 days to figure out what this whole thing had mean. Even after everybody was telling me.
You figure it out? Still, you know.
Yeah, I figure it out now. Like, you know, everybody was just saying bingo and the thing. I think.
Bingo may win?
I guess bingo is what you need to complete the win. So I guess what he's saying is that he was the thing that was needed to complete the win. Like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it took me a while to figure that out.
Cool.
Yeah. I guess I just don't have a political mind. But yeah, so Jed, so how much money is the monthly unemployment support?
Should we do the Price is Right theme? $1,000.
$1,000?
Yes, $1,000 monthly. The government will.
Go ahead, Jane. Read
The
it.
government will provide financial support worth $1,000 per month to the unemployed citizens. We will keep the amount the same for the first 3 months, and after 3 months, it will be increased. Because why? We care.
We care. We care.
Vibes.
I wonder why this wasn't mentioned in the meeting last night.
But you went.
Maybe they forgot.
You went.
Maybe they forgot.
What was mentioned in the meeting last night?
Sean say he wasn't there.
He wasn't there. He was aware.
He wasn't at last lap when whatever happened, so he know he named in the report.
Why is this so big? Why is this so pressing? If he wasn't there, he wasn't there.
Let me tell you something, Jade. I listened to Sean last night, and you know he's been involved in politics for quite some time, and so we've heard him speak time and time again. Sean was hurt. I am convinced now that part of what is going on here, Sean feels hurt.
By whomst?
By the PM.
Oh.
Sean feels hurt. And he might not just be hurt over this one particular thing, but I think the fact that the last not last night, but the one before on Monday, Sean literally pull up a picture with him and the PM, you know.
Yes, talking about going to this
to his
swearing in, right?
swearing in,
And said he was the only minister. No, you're right, Sean hurt.
It's Sean hurt. Sean
You're
hurt.
right.
Timo, apologize.
Whatever you have done
Say sorry.
to hurt his feelings in this matter, in this manner,
Sean hurt.
have a meeting with him and
I think
talk about, let him hear, listen. Sometimes, right?
because what Sean described last night, I would have been hurt too.
Would have been hurt.
I would have been hurt too. I ain't gonna tell a lie. I would have been hurt too.
Sometimes, as
I might have keep going to cabinet, but I was gonna be hurt. I was gonna be hurt.
No, I mean, I think you should still go do the work that you were given to do. But however,
I get up and go work every day, you know.
just not to cabinet.
Didn't see the road them paving still.
Facts. Up till yesterday, we see one.
Road paving, lights being installed, things happening still.
Listen, as adults, right? I feel like sometimes we have a hard time realizing, or like just acknowledging people's feelings and their hurts and their emotions and stuff. And that could be the root cause of a lot of things. And no, I'm not saying this is it in this instance because
Jade, I saying it.
Okay, well, as I'm saying it, I don't know anything about
I believe
what's happened.
Sean is hurt.
But no, I could see it because as mentioning the fact that you were the only person that went to the swearing in at a town hall meeting.
No, I understand what you were saying in the if you listen to it in concept, in context, it makes sense. He's saying like I have been playing my part. This unity thing, I've been doing my part to ensure that this thing work. But it feels as though and everybody putting in the same effort to ensure that this thing work. He's hurt.
He's hurt.
And we think and Timo apologize.
Somebody
Say, I'm
says,
sorry.
I find it so interesting that the man must be always recognized for their feelings, but women are too emotional for politics. Yeah. Because, to be honest, right, we
Men
just
must
starting
always
to
recognize.
we just starting to get into this politics thing, you know. Men have been ruling the nation for years upon years, right? And all of these issues been happening, you know. Been happening, man.
Jade, you
A lot of hurt
hear me say
feelings.
yesterday, I said, well, whatever the Pakistan never had one president in all the 75 years that finished a term here. Not one, you know.
That is very telling. I'm not gonna lie, that is
Not
very
one,
telling.
not one.
75 years and not one has crossed the finish line. Very telling. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
Question: do you think that the politicians should or do go to therapy?
I think they should.
I think they should as well.
I think they should.
I think there should be a designated therapist for politicians, just like there is mental health help for police officers and other people in high risk, high
stress.
high stress jobs. I think they need, clearly, because I don't think
Jade.
having to run a country is easy.
Jade, have you seen how politics ages people?
Yes.
We have people. Let's talk about Obama, right? But we have some very clear examples of it here.
Clear as day.
J,
Some people actually started reversing their age as soon as they got out of politics.
Stop talking about Ghost, now, man.
I didn't mean him, but
Oh.
he too.
But Ghost look. We see Ghost man yesterday.
Yeah, but I didn't look sprunksy.
But Ghost look like he could go post up somebody
I
right
thought
now.
that was a young man. I thought was his son.
Ghost look like he could go dunk on somebody right now.
And look at Dougie. Dougie been listen.
Dougie's still involved, man. So Dougie, but yeah, he ain't in government. But he
And
in government.
involved in that. Where the man been aging backwards now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Whoever Dougie trainer is, y'all doing a good job.
Bless up yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think we need to, well, not we, because I'm not a politician, but they, as politicians, need to figure out how to deal with stress management, how to deal with each other better, how to be able to hear their feelings,
Jade,
not necessarily publicly, because this is why we're here,
Yeah.
but, you know,
I'm gonna go off on a bit of a tangent.
no, that's fine.
But it kind of based on what we're talking about and also the town hall last night. One of the things that came up in the town hall last night, and hey, big up to Carl Brown, because Carl Brown is at every town hall meeting, and I don't know if he has his own town hall meeting, but everybody seems to give him their gripes and then he presents it. So it seems as though he has his own town hall before
so he's
the
plug.
actual town hall.
He's the plug.
Yeah, but one of the things that he mentioned yesterday, which we also guilty of not really talking about it, is the seeming increase in violence in the schools.
You think it's an increase?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I say seemingly because it might just be that it's just caught on video now, so everybody recognizes
Yeah,
it.
man, about the increase, man, because I could vividly remember seeing fights at school every day.
Yeah, so
And I don't think that's shocking. Listen, we put a bunch of kids in the same environment every day. Kids that are still learning to manage their emotions.
but stop. That's the problem I'm having. You were just talking about the fact that the politicians, that's why you come back to me, you know. You were just talking about the fact that the politicians themselves seem to have to find ways to deal with not just the stresses of life, but the stresses of the job, right? Now, these are some of the most admired, recognized people in society, educated in society. But one thing is that, what you call it? What we call book sense is one thing,
And street sense is another.
but not only
And
emotional
sense,
emotional
yeah.
intelligence, and that is one of the things I've been
no,
bawling
yeah, and
about.
I was about to say it, you know. I was about to say
I've
it.
been bawling about that. I've been saying like these are some of the things that we need to be teaching our children. Like,
And it's clear as day.
I
because-
didn't. As much as I like the fact that it came up last night, that this is something that needs to be looked at. Obviously, something that needs to be looked at. I didn't like a lot of the suggestions and the things that I was hearing, like from people around. You had things talking about, and the suggestions was like, you know, if somebody on the honor roll, and they get into some kind of violent altercation, then, you know, take them off the honor roll. If they have scholarships, take them off the scholarship.
Why?
And I'm like, that doesn't.
That is very counterproductive. So you
very counterproductive.
Why would you punish somebody who?
No,
I
but
don't
but
get
the
it.
way I look at it, the honor roll signals that this person must have done some work, right? Must have done some work.
Yes.
Right? Now the thing is, if you have somebody who seems to be putting effort into their education, so much so that they have received either scholarships, been on the honor roll, principals list, etc. Why isn't it a big red flag when that same person is then involved in acts of violence? And why are we not looking at what is happening in this child's life that would have them reacting in this way to whatever stresses, altercations, whatever it is that's going on, right? So, I mean, it signaled to me that there is a sense of frustration, or maybe just a sense of concern as to what's going on, rightfully so. But I think we can't just jump to the whole punish. Let me tell you all something. You can't punish people into the behavior that you want. It don't happen. it doesn't happen, especially when you don't deal with the root cause of the behavior. I used to, I
You
used,
just preach it here, friend. I don't know what.
I used to get so annoyed when I was teaching, and it would be the same children down in the office to get licks. I'd be like, if this child now in fourth farm and they're getting licks every week from first farm, maybe the licks ain't working. Like maybe the licks ain't working.
If a child get licks from first farm to fourth farm, y'all think the licks from first farm working?
Obviously not. Obviously not. Obviously,
You know what is true and then realize in the head. And I do remember these things from high school. Licks gone cool. Licks must cool as them.
No, not only that, Jade. Sometimes the licks where you get in school ain't got nothing to do with the licks where they get when you leave out the school.
And from life itself. You think
understand?
this is a punishment?
This is where you got punishment?
But listen.
Bye. Good morning, caller 11 Island T. What's up?
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
I agree that people who show, especially children who show deviant behavior, they should be whether psychoanalyzed or certainly get some kind of professional treatment to deal with the issues. Okay? But I think also there should be consequences for doing stuff that is outside the norm, right? Because remember, okay, sure, they may have issues to deal with, but there's a whole cohort of students out there, people out there, who are looking on and looking at what happens when one or two get out of line, okay? And so you can look at punishment as also a deterrent, not necessarily to correct the behavior of errant students, but as a deterrent to others. Right?
I don't think that there's been a lack of punishment though. Is that what you feel? I remember even when I was in school, people fight, they get suspended. I know students have been expelled. I know students have lost out on scholarships as well for fighting. So I think what we're suggesting is that perhaps there needs to be a look at how we deal with these situations, because what is happening now, obviously, I don't think there's a lack of punishment.
There will never be a lack of punishment.
Yeah, I don't think that's the issue.
So it isn't that you're saying that before the punishment there should be really some investigation as to the cause of behavior.
Or after, but there should be some investigation.
And what I'm saying is, I think what we should be looking at is ways to reduce the causes of these types of behaviors, as opposed to trying to say, think about it this way. That is like when you say, when the slave masters go and say, bang here and cut off your hand in front of everybody.
Yeah, to make an example
for running away.
Yeah, so nobody's going to run away after that.
Yeah, but
we acknowledge that behavior. Well, for one thing, it's very widespread, that punishment thing. I mean, it's not as extreme as cutting off your hand. But certainly, kids get spanked all the time, they get, those kinds of things, light punishment, but punishment nevertheless.
Mm-hmm. Okay? Yeah, we're not saying that punishment isn't necessary.
It's a good idea to ingrain in them that when you do things that are outside the norm, that there are consequences for doing that.
But we're not saying that shouldn't be. We're just saying that we have to look at the other side as well. We completely agree that some punishment should be happening, but we have to look at the other side as well.
Basically, what I am saying is that the approach that is being taken now ain't working.
You don't think it's working?
But we just see the fight, them just keep happening and happening and happening. As a matter of fact,
kids will be kids. The kids grow up and mature just like 20, 50 years ago.
But not all of them do.
Phases.
Bro, we just here talking about how the adults acting.
But your thing about politicians, though, we elect politicians because we expect them to be different role models. They should lead. Otherwise, we can just take any old Joe off the street and tell him lead.
Okay, so with becoming a politician.
Listen from our politicians.
And
so I don't think there should be excused this kind of behavior like what's going on right now. I mean, you have an aspiring prime minister and you're telling me because he thought he's going to do these kinds of things? No, man, you gotta
That's
you gotta man
why.
up.
That's why when they come out next week and say that we've put all our issues behind us, I'm waiting for you to call back in and just be so happy that they've matured.
Oh, that's what you predict? That they're gonna say that?
No, I just hoping because that's what mature people do, right?
Okay, right. Yeah. Well, I hope they do, but not like what has been happening all along, where they've been deceiving us, telling us that everything is all right. Because that's the other thing. You put a plaster over a bad sore, doesn't heal it. Okay. So I expect that they'll come up with details. This communique that they issued with no detail would not cut it for next week, right? I would hope they'd have a press conference after where they're grilled as to what's been happening, and they have been saying some really terrible things against each other, you know, and it's continuing in this interim period. Last night I listened at the tail end of one of the shows, and one was practically calling somebody on the other side a thief. You know, you have opposition in government. You have a government, and you have, apart from the opposition outside of government, you have an opposition in government that are making points that the regular opposition would be making. It's like a circular firing squad. They're killing themselves, you know, and we can't expect to run a country like this. It's ridiculous.
I'm just very happy. I'm just very happy to hear. I'm just very happy to hear that you are looking forward to them making up, as you suggest that is the mature thing to do, and that is what the country needs for us to move forward. I'm very happy to hear that.
Well, I'm not sure about making up.
But that's what mature people would do. That's what mature people would do, man. So I know you want to see maturity be displayed. So you know, hopefully that's what happens.
Okay.
All right.
Oh dear.
But no, you have to appreciate people who want to see the best for others.
Country.
Yeah, for others. Yeah.
Especially for the country. That's a statesman right there.
That's a mature guy right there.
Yes, that's
a mature man right there.
Have to applaud him.
That caller, I must say, I'm
He has
very proud.
matured into a well-rounded adult.
Yes, I love it. But like what we are talking about, Jade, like I say, it's not that there needs to be a absence of punishment, but we but we have to look at the fact that that's why I'm making the point that I'm making. It's not for a lack of punishment why we are seeing these things. It's just that perhaps the punishment is not speaking to the underlying causes of the situation.
Exactly.
And then the problem is, if we are saying that this thing is a popular thing happening all the time, boom, 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 well, what you answer, so the other children don't see that the punishment is being done? You see what I'm saying? Like, fighting me going on forever.
Since before our time.
Jade, I went to a school, they used to call it Vietnam.
I went to that school and was afraid to go to that school because they used to call it Vietnam.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many things. Listen, we as kids see and know what punishment is because we feel it at school, we feel it at home, we feel it just in regular day life as kids. So you can't say there's a lack of punishment or there needs to be more. What else? How else?
Again, you can't punish people into the behavior you want to see. That doesn't work. Like, you talk to any social scientist, they're gonna tell you that. They're gonna tell you that. The thing is, when you're gonna have children that actually buck in the system, they buck in the system. So by nature, you think they're watching like, he get licks, he get his scholarship. Children are running around stabbing people. You think they're watching, he get his scholarship take away?
You saw that video from them schoolgirls in Jamaica?
And that is what I'm trying to say, Jay. This thing go deeper than, she didn't see somebody get punished for being violent. It goes deeper than that, obviously.
Deeper.
You understand where I'm coming from? And the problem is that we're not taking a proper look at the situations that these children face. Okay, this is the thing.
And you were a teacher, so you know.
There's always going to be confrontation. You got all the children in the same place. You know, a lot of them haven't learned to deal with emotions. Like, you're gonna have those kind of things. The problem, what is even more concerning to me, right? What is even more concerning to me is the level of violence. Like, I tell you, one thing I tell you, at some point, a 14-year-old boy need to get slapped sometime in his life, yeah. Because he needs to understand consequences. And not only that, you know, he needs to understand that when you're dealing with men in particular, there's this mutual threat of violence that exists. So you deal with people with respect. You understand? So I mean, they ain't talking about that. But Jade, when people, something is going on in a child's life, when they decide in the morning, as I put in my math book, I go for the ice pick after. Like, we need to figure out what that is.
I had that experience once.
Whether or not and this thing is, people talk about parenting, and yes, but okay, a child could be not well adjusted and have emotional issues, mental issues, whatever it is. But when you start seeing children literally, as they pack their bag, pack weapons as well to go to school. You understand? Like, we need. I remember. Hey,
we don't have active shooters here, you know.
Big up Miss Cable one time. I see Miss Cable. I see Mrs. Cable. When it was last week, something just ran into her, right? And she said, somebody asked her, well, you know about this fella here, and she was like, oh, I was a model student. So big up Miss Cable one time. She said I was a model student.
You were a model student?
That's what Miss Cable said. Yes,
why is she lying to you?
Yeah, you can leave Miss Cable, you know. But I remember one of the things, the biggest problem she had with me is me here, right? I remember they started getting on me for my Afro pick. They used to call my Afro pick a weapon. Right? So, I mean, I had a lot of hair, and I had to comb my hair. Like, if I have an Afro, I'm going to use an Afro pick.
Yeah.
But that ain't what we're talking about when we're talking about children coming to school with weapons now. Yeah? You have children literally going to school early to hide their weapon, yeah?
Yes.
To hide their weapon.
I can't even tell the story on here yet. Let me not do that.
Like, let me tell you, the mindset of that child when he's making these decisions, he's not considering who got licks, who got expelled, who got off the honor roll, who got put up in front of the whole entire school and had to make an apology. Who got to go kneel down? Like, them things ain't in this child's mind.
You think these is the punishment you think gonna come with what he do? You think these is the punishments that are going to match him packing a weapon?
Crazy. Jade, I have schoolmates, people in my class who died over violent acts. And the one who perpetrated the act went to jail. Like, he's still in jail now.
I mean, did he recently return to jail, or this was?
No, he came out at 18 or 20 or something like that, and then by that time he has no real skills, he has no nothing, he ended back up in jail. Right? So, but what I'm saying is, if we don't actually try to help the children them, this is going to keep happening, and it's going to get worse, because the way that things like violence work is the same thing with attention. Yeah, in order to gain it, you have to keep going above and above and above. And the things and the same thing with violence. Violence can continually increase and increase and increase just based on the nature of violence.
Yeah, because you do me something,
so
I want to do back something, then you do back something. Like,
you made a statement just now, Jade. You made a statement. Oh, I'm happy we don't have active shooters here. Let me tell you something, right? And this is, I do not want this. But if we don't stop, if we don't look at the situation now, there's nothing in my mind that says we're not going to get there.
True. That's true.
So what is the plan? What is the plan? The minister answered the question last night. He said looking into it, and they're working along with the teachers and stuff like that. But I'm just hoping that whatever it is that they're doing, that is just not some punishment-based solution that they're looking to implement.
Because that's not going to help.
Like, try to train them out of school, and it didn't seem that way from his answer. It seemed as though there was an understanding that it has to be, there has to be a real study done. They have to talk to the children. They have to figure out what is going on, because ain't no one child. It ain't children from one community. It ain't children from only town school or country school or like it's across the board. This children in A1 classes fighting, children in some of the low streams fighting.
I went all twos in my school year.
And then and they was fighting in your class too?
I was in it. What do you mean? You mean if I was fighting in the class?
Jade, you know what needs to happen? JP2, perhaps you need to have a conversation with Jade concerning this what was happening with her during in school and what would have contributed to her violent.
Yeah, they want to hear them stories, trust me.
No, I think that's the problem. We need to hear those stories, right? We need to hear those stories. Okay, Jade, I used
One
to
of
be
these days I'm going to tell you some stories.
I used to be a football. I used to coach football, right? And I just using this as an example to show how sometimes we have to look past. We have to look past what's on the surface. I had a situation where before we get into skills and before we get into skills and before we get into strategy on the football field, my first thing is fitness. I need to get the team up to scratch physically for them to be able to execute what we're teaching them on a consistent basis.
True.
So school would start. I would call for practice to begin, and the children them don't know Bailey gonna kill us because Bailey gonna gas running around the field. Bailey gonna gas doing push-ups till we can't move no more. Boom, boom, boom. And I remember looking at some of the kids and just saying, but is it that they over the summer they didn't play? Like they're just not fit. And so I'm having trouble preparing them for the league.
Yeah,
right?
If you can't even get them to the fitness part of it.
And so I start talking to them about how to prepare, make sure they're drinking water and blah, 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 blah. Started figuring out that what was happening is a lot of them just wasn't eating. They come football practice, they ain't eating no lunch. They ain't eating no breakfast. And then I'm like, how could that be a problem when we have school meals?
Literally.
The school providing food, I'm realizing that there was a stigma attached to the school meals.
Yep.
So they just prefer to not eat and then come to me practice hungry. But my thing is, that's football practice, yeah. You know what I'm saying? They can't focus in class neither.
No, as if you know how it feels to be hungry.
They can't. Watch your Jade. When you're hungry, you ain't focusing on nothing except the feeling in your belly.
Yes. There's nothing else functioning.
So, I could have, if I had not just asked the question, do some research, whatever, I would have just think maybe, they're not going hard. Maybe I need to train them harder because they're not fit on the field. I need to go harder with them in training so they could execute better in the games.
Not realizing
that there was an underlying issue that needed to be addressed in order for me to get the results that I was looking for.
Next thing you know, how can I train outside? Just passing out.
Jade, I was a homeroom teacher, Jade. Some of the stories that I get from the children, them, like, because I recognize I grew up in a very privileged, environment, right? I had both parents were employed, both parents, religious, like, so I had a very stable home. You understand?
Look at you now.
So, exactly, what happened? What happened?
Where did you go wrong?
My mother asked me that time. Like, when
I'm stressing about man. If your parents got to ask that.
My mother asked me that time. Tell me where we went wrong. Tell me what.
You need to apologize to them right now.
Oh, boy.
Because you had them under some pressure, boy. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, so imagine I'm coming out of that environment, right? And then I've gone back to teach. And I'm hearing stories from children who come from a totally different, like some of the things they're telling me, it's just like, I and all trying to just keep a straight face because I don't want to react in a way that is just like, you know what I mean? Like,
they don't be lying in them.
Jade, I tell the story here already. I tell you one time a child come back late from lunch when I asked the child, when I asked the child why you back from late from lunch, after some hesitation, the child tell me that his cousin come get him because they needed to go break into a house and he was the only one small enough to get you the window.
Yeah, man, trust me. The thing that...
Like, no, my cousin never asked me to do that.
Listen.
But this is what some of these children dealing with. But not only that, what you have to understand. You're a nice, well-adjusted child, you believe. Go in school with these same people.
They must be forget.
So what your child is supposed to do when they're sitting down next to a child that really coming out of such a turbulent background?
Stressful
Is
environment.
either you adapt and you step up and you meet them where they're at, or you have been bullied for the entire time in school. Yeah?
You better believe it. And that is how I started fighting as him. My villain origin story started.
Is that a step up or get punk?
And listen. No, I'm not even joking. That is what happened to me as him. Before going to high school, I lived with my grandmother, and unfortunately she passed away. And then I had to live with some cousins who grew up very differently from me.
Right.
And they instilled some things into me.
You got to adapt.
My cousins used to see me walk into the house and just punch me.
Oh, yeah.
Because they knew that I was not that type of child, and they knew that the wolves at school would eat me alive as
You got to prepare you.
And I was prepared.
Mm-hmm. So when you're put in the situation,
Boy,
your training took over.
Listen.
Your training took
They may
over.
have done too good of a job because... listen.
Your training took over. But, I mean...
If my friends talk about me, how they used to talk about me as him.
Oh, boy. I got to ask Chrissy again.
Don't ask her. Don't ask her.
Chrissy, we got to have a conversation.
You don't ask that.
But what I'm saying is, Jade, sometimes we just need to understand that we need to look beyond the surface, beyond the obvious.
You have to.
And when we see that this thing is so prevalent in schools, right? This whole violence and fighting and all these kind of things, then maybe it might even be systemic. The school itself might be doing things that encouraging this type of behavior.
We're gonna have to continue this.
Yeah.
Because it is very important and timely. However, we have a guest joining us now, which means it's time for a break. And then we will be coming back with more conversations right here on Island T. Stick and stay, guys. We'll be right back.
Magnum. Take charge. Everybody put your magnum in the air now. From you a drink magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink responsibly.
Delicious. Lightly salted, tasty, and oh so fresh.
Delicious, multigrain, crispy, full of flavor, and so guilt-free.
Licious, buttery blend, golden brown, melts in your mouth, and of course, you just want more.
Things that make you go, Licious, the new snack cracker from Wabisco. Buttery blend, multigrain, or lightly salted. Ready to snack straight from the pack. Try them today.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Island Tea right here with Media SKN. It is still Friday.
Indeed it is.
And you're chilling with Azem and Jade Gwenny Gwenadita, CPL Matter Stuart Johnson.
Yes.
And of course, we are being joined in studio by a guy who I have tremendous respect for. I don't even know how you managed to pull this level of excellence into the studio this morning.
Azim, are you fanboying?
I am fanboying right now.
I don't understand.
I am fanboying this morning. Guys, in the studio with us, we have none other than the man himself, Mr. Stephen Smith. Stephen?
Dude, really?
You should use this as an
Jade,
intro.
I think I
your
need
next
to
mixtape.
record it and like just when I go
Don't
to do
record it, man, it's
presentations. Yeah, man, I need to bring Azem with me, man.
Okay.
Azem,
it would be an honor, sir.
there's a job here for you somewhere.
I anything you need from me, sir?
The level of prestige.
I am at your service.
I feel like I should have wear a different shirt and all, considering.
No,
that
actually, I feel I'm going to just wear that shirt for the next week or two.
I have spoken.
You know what? Let me let the two of y'all chat. You're clearly having a bromance right here.
But
Love
you
to
see
see
what
it.
I'm telling you? There's one person on the live who usually is very much a supporter of mine, right? I haven't seen her for the morning. She hasn't said anything, whatever. All of a sudden, you're in the studio and it's, hey, Stephen. But guess what? I totally understand.
There's no hate whatsoever there, Azem.
There's no hate at all.
It's full admiration.
It's a mutual admiration, man.
Oh, man.
I think you're the man. When it comes to you, you're the man for sure.
Well, I
100%.
think I do me best.
Better than anybody else has ever done it.
But Stephen,
Yeah,
seriously, thank you so much for joining us this
It's a
morning,
pleasure.
man. And we like to have conversations here, with just cool people, and people who through the conversations that we have, we could really learn from. And the hope is that people who listen to the show or watch the show, could gain some sort of inspiration from. And based on the little I know of you, I sure this would be no different. But for persons who may not know who Stephen Smith is and so don't have the level of admiration that I do for you, could you please, in a few words, tell us who Stephen Smith is?
Wow, Stephen Smith. I feel like when you did that lead up, you put a very heavy weight on
Yes,
this
I did.
conversation. I think it was willful because
Yes, I
I
did.
know you're a master language and you definitely, that was your intention. Who is Stephen Smith? Well, I am Stephen Smith. I'm the owner of Blue Touch Productions. I also run Objectively Incorrect, which is my podcast. I am an artist in its truest sense, but I've learned to become an entrepreneur as well, because I feel like that's something a little bit different. Like people think that
Become part of the brain.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. The artist is like, let's do everything we can. The entrepreneur is like, how do we survive till next month? And how do we survive till next year? And how do we survive to 10 years from now? But yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm very much into the arts. I'm very much a believer in the arts, not just my art, but any art. I try my best to push my support behind that as much as I can. I love life. I love people. Actually, I'm in love with humanity. The other day I had a friend who told me, like,
sorry about that.
It's not a sorry thing.
That's a rough one, man.
It's not so rough as you think. I think the majority of people do have the propensity for good. So.
So you're also delusional. Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You like a lot, yeah. But yeah, I'm very much a lover of humanity. And the other day I had a conversation with a neighbor of mine, and she was like, I like dogs. I said, okay, that's cool. You could like dogs. She said, I hate human beings.
Okay, that's a little rough.
Like hate, like it was visceral. Right?
You felt it when she said it.
I hate human beings.
Rough but understandable.
But I love dogs. I'm like, why do you love dogs? She said, like, dogs don't lay you down. I said, but dogs have bitten people, so I mean, how does this work for you?
That the bites were deserved.
Oh wow!
I think that's what she's
Humans do
implying.
things unprovoked.
A 6-year-old me would disagree, but a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old me would disagree.
Wow. So at this point, it's your fault, because why they keep biting you?
Well, they haven't bitten me for a long time. I haven't been bitten for a while, both by dog or human being. So like, yeah, it's been a good run. I had me 2 bites early, and then you know, it's just been clear sailing from there.
But according to a specific minister, you should be able to take at least 3.
At least 3. So maybe there's one. Oh, boy, no, man, this is too late in life. As a man, at this time is catastrophic, man. You don't build a life. You don't have your Legos in place.
Yeah.
Somebody dig a hole in one of the Legos and your whole thing come to no, man.
Tumbling down, yeah, bro.
Hopefully, God gives me 212 have already been had.
Well, I mean, you said that in your introduction just now that you are an artist who has learned and grown into being an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And you spoke also about your company, Blue Torch, and your podcast.
Correct.
But this love affair with the arts, where would you say it first it first showed itself? In what way did it really first start coming out?
I think my first attraction to art was probably in high school. In high school, I discovered anime, right?
Ah, yes.
And at first, you look at these things, you take them for granted and so on. But I think I had the pleasure of watching a documentary. I think it was for what was the White Lion movie called again? The one that Lion King ripped off. I can't remember that.
Oh, yes. I
can't remember the name. It's something like the White Lion, whatever.
Yeah.
And they had a behind the scenes look at what it took to get this thing animated, right? And the thousands of man-hours, you know what I mean? The individual drawings, the interlays, even the direction. You can't waste people's time. So it's like all of this was poured into this craft, and it gave me a different appreciation for craft in general. Mm-hmm. Me being the person I am, I'm connected with dancers and artists and so on, and to see them kind of trod through the years trying to perfect the craft and so on. And people, you would see it, you take it for granted, but if you had to really go through the process, then you have a different appreciation for it in general. So I have very much a respect for artists, especially artists who stick with it and who do it for years, man. What they do in an hour, it would take me 5 years.
Yeah,
you know
and not only that, it might have taken them 5 years to be able to do it in an hour.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So it's like to give appreciation for those people who put to task, because another appreciation that I've gotten is even when it comes to music, like it's amazing that when we're down or we feel like our emotions are out of whack and so on, one of the first things we usually step to is music for, to get that sort of lift or to feel better about yourself, or at least not to feel alone. Some people, they're sad and they listen to sad songs and it gives them some form, Jade Wolf, sad songs and ice cream. But yeah, people look toward artists to find that sort of, that solitude and even that togetherness, that connection. But you could easily take it for granted because a song is you pull up a song, you press play. You don't have to interact with the artist directly, but you're interacting with the artist's work. Right. Had that song not been created, then you wouldn't have access to it.
Right. And I mean, you're talking about music. You also have some talent or experience
in the music
music arena as well.
Yeah, man. As we grew up in church, man. Like,
yeah.
And if your parents were like instrumental in it, like they would tend to push you into doing something. And usually that means some form of musical interpretation in some way, shape, or form.
Choir or recitation? One of the two.
Choir, recitation, dance.
But they don't just call them poems. Why they keep calling it recitation?
Man, that's one sexy, man. Stop playing
that's
around,
what it is.
man.
Okay, my bad.
When a grandmother come here and say, I see my son do a recitation. Yeah, it was great, I loved it.
Yeah, you're right.
It was only 2 lines. It was Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, but she was proud.
What do you mean?
She ain't gonna say, oh, well, that's a poem. No, she's like, that's a recitation.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how it works. So, I mean, coming up in church and stuff, like my mother was a choir director. She was also the superintendent for that sounds really important, man.
It is.
Superintendent of the Sunday school. So, you had to go Sunday school all the time. And she's an avid singer as well. She grew up singing. My aunts and her have a musical group called, I think, the Glasgow Sisters.
Okay.
So they've been singing for decades, man. That makes my mother sound old, but she's not that old. She's not old.
Right.
But that exposure, like, I had to take something from it. And I don't know, God gave me the gift to use these these strings in my voice, so I could use them for good. Hopefully for good. I've used them for not so good sometimes, but let's not get into that.
Yeah, let's not get into that. I mean, you go ahead, Jen.
I just want to know, as usual, where do you find the time for all of these things? Because you're also a photographer.
I'm also a photographer.
What
I'm
in
also a
the
film
world?
director. Right now, there's a project that's knocking me down. It's crazy. But where do I find time? I'm also a board gamer. It's crazy. Wow.
What board games do you like playing?
I could call a few and you probably would not know what they are.
But that's why I asked this question. Because I think the board games that you play say a lot about who you are.
I like Root, which is about domination and control.
I know Root,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. You know Root?
Yeah, I know Root.
Stop playing! Nowhere!
I haven't played it, but I
know of it.
Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, well, I like Root. I like things like Santorini, Keyforge, which is like Magic, but not really. Not as expensive. I'll put it, it's not doesn't take that long. But back to Jay's question, like where do I find time? I think I designate the time. And over the years, you kind of have to become a lot more disciplined with how you utilize time. And a lot of people don't realize the factoring of downtime or time to relax and so on is really important as well. Otherwise, you'll burn out yourself. The other day, I was talking to Genevieve Hanley on the same podcast, and she mentioned something that was so insightful to me. She was like, you have to prioritize the time that you use to relax. Because in our culture, it's always hustle, burn out.
Yep.
And like somebody would take great pride to tell you that, I stayed up all night working on a project. Me sleep for 3 days.
Me eat no lunch.
I ain't eat lunch, but me ain't had lunch for days, but I ain't even eat today.
Yeah.
And we kind of glorify that. And
You romanticize it.
You romanticize it and we make it seem like it's something great, but you're destroying the very body and the only body you have. No matter how much money you make, you only have one body at the end of the day.
No, but the point that I had this conversation with somebody recently too, and I'm saying, but the whole point of you working so hard is to give you the best life.
Life, correct.
But you're killing the life organ,
and you're not really like when you indulge in work, yes, you're living because sometimes you could find a lot of passion in the work that you do. But if you surround yourself only with that, when you sum up your life at the end of it, it's like, I went to work. Okay. What else? What else did you do? It's amazing when people don't really have any story to tell you. Give us a story. I don't know a story.
I just go work and come home.
I went into there to work for 7 o'clock. I went home after 11 and just went to sleep. It's like, so what you did at work? Eyes are blurry,
Yeah.
So
that's something I'm presently even just trying to work on. I really lean towards work.
Yeah, true.
I'm just lucky enough that for the most part I like the things that I do.
At least.
But at least.
Yeah, you really in life you need balance.
You do. You need balance, and you could easily get burned out, especially if you're in a creative field. I find a lot of times people, especially in our field, we kind of expected to produce like a machine, right? But you're not a machine. You need inspiration. You need life experience. You need some heartbreak. You need some heart love. You need some. You need stuff. You need to experience things so that you could relate that into your art. And if you're only experiencing one sort of thing, one monotonous sort of existence, it's very difficult for you to pull from that sort of lack of experience to create something new.
It's hard for you to create things that are inspiring if you aren't inspired.
Correct. That's you've just summed up all my words. And this is where you're genius. You know that.
He is.
You're genius, bro.
He is.
Thank you for allowing me to sit at your feet and learn, sir.
Wow.
Stop playing that, dude. Really. But yeah, you have to make time. You have to make time and designate the time in a disciplined way. Like if you're gonna spend 3 hours working, spend 3 hours working. And I know that's difficult to say because sometimes we need the resources that we're generating when we're working. So it's like you could easily find yourself getting burned out just because you're trying to run on this kind of treadmill vibes and get the money in so that you could pay these bills and pay this loan and all of that. So it's just like it could end up being that you're working not because you're necessarily, this is what you really want to do, but you're working because you have so much commitments to fill up. So I do understand that part too.
Yeah, and just speaking about the things that you're involved in, you mentioned the podcast, and for me, that is a very important thing, your podcast specifically, because I do believe that it kind of charted a way for persons here to see that this particular outlet is something that we here can do.
Correct.
You know, I have a grievance with this podcast.
What's that?
Have you gotten invited?
Yes, I've been on podcasts.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's me. Okay.
Jade,
It's me. Okay.
Everybody can't be on the same time.
It's true. That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm.
And it's been
I'm just asking questions here.
Oh wow! But I do feel like, as you're correct. I've seen a few more podcasts have popped up since, not necessarily since I started it, but over the years I've seen a few more pop up, and I'm really happy to see all of them because our voices in the Caribbean are unique, and I feel like we don't ever have enough inroads or output areas or platforms to really showcase that talent. Jade has her own perspectives. Jade has her own thoughts, and those thoughts could be very inspiring to the general audience. But if Jade isn't allowed to share those thoughts, then, I mean, it kind of ends with her and her circle. And even when I started the podcast, that was one of the things that kind of inspired me to do it.
Well, that's and speak specifically to that, because that's one of the things that's very interesting to me. What is it that inspired for you to even start doing this?
Man, listen, the conversations, like, again, I guess as we get older, like, you kind of tend to draw a lot more on your life experiences and also the inspiration from things that you would have seen. And I realized a lot of the conversations I was having with clients, a lot of the conversations I was having with friends in my circles, it's like we talk and it kind of ends here. Like, yeah, we're all inspired. I'm not saying it ends here like it's not an important conversation, but what I realize is that this could be beneficial to a lot of people who don't have the either the inclination or even the thought of the knowledge of the resources to access this kind of information.
Or maybe just not even just privy to the conversation that you were having.
Correct.
Weren't there.
Correct. They weren't there. So like my whole reason for going at the podcast is that I wanted to bring people into some of those conversations with some of the people that have had these, and even bringing people who could inspire me, because over the years what I've realized too is the more people you talk to, the more you either fine-tune what you know or you completely get rid of it. Like there's some toxic things that were in me, and I probably still have a bunch of toxic things in me. It's not that they're all eradicated, but I do feel like being able to expose myself to different beliefs and people who I don't necessarily agree with, because there's been people on the podcast who I don't agree with at all. Don't agree with them at all, but engaging them in respectful conversation and trying to figure out what their modus operandi are, what they're trying to say, or why they feel the way they feel. It's been really, really cathartic to me. And a lot of people in the audience who have been listening find the same thing. Yes, they don't agree with, maybe some people say they don't even agree with half the people who are on the show. Right. But because they sit down and they just kind of listen to it, they either say, hey, that's nonsense, or, you kind of got a point. Yeah, maybe I should just adjust a little bit.
That dynamic is something that I think is so very important in society. A lot of times, these conversations that you were talking about, you were having, we tend to find ourselves around like-minded people. We tend to end up in these echo chambers.
Right.
And when we have examples of persons being able to have dialogue where they can disagree respectfully, find common ground, don't find common ground, but just be able to speak, listen, and be listened to.
Let's have a conversation.
I think that it almost sounds like the exception and not the rule. And I would have hoped that would be the rule. And so I think when you have examples of that, like what happens and like what you're describing, I think that plays a very important role just in society.
It does.
Like I really appreciate platforms that you could see that being displayed, right?
True.
And then not only that, you also just by engaging as a listener, you also bring yourself to the conversation as well. So it's a whole even different perspective happening. And I think if we're able to have persons sharing, understanding, listening, just getting a view of more and more perspectives, I think that would serve society so much better than just people. Yeah, that people just ending up in these echo chambers and just literally talking to people that agree with you all the time.
Yep, having the same thought processes, having the same answers. You ask them a question. We see it in politics, especially. We talk about it all the time on the show. So yeah, I completely agree. These conversations are necessary to have with.
But even to go a little further, like when we go on the internet now, everybody has their own online profile. Like Google knows what you like, so Google feeds you what you like. You know, Facebook feeds you what you like. The algorithm feeds you what you already like and know. It doesn't try to give you anything that's going to upset you or cause you to leave the platform.
Really, no, it actually does extremes.
Yeah,
It does
it
extremes.
does.
So it might give you something that you don't agree with, but it's so far down the thing that it grabs you just because you know you're gonna upset you.
Or something. Yeah. Like it prioritizes. You're right. It prioritizes engagement.
Right.
But you see, the thing is, what you just said is important too. It grabs you because you so vehemently disagree that it knows that you are going to comment or you're going to, have a backlash or, lash out like you're gonna have a tantrum like a child.
It's something small as even reading it because they know that you want. So even though you already have this preconceived notion, you still want to see what that person said or what that article says.
Correct.
But
to disagree.
To disagree.
Not to have the engagement of, let's see what they actually believe and let's see if there's any merit to it.
Or common ground that could be found.
So the algorithm is basically trying to go for all of the engagement it can. But the problem with that is that you're not really engaging in discourse that's causing you to grow. It's causing you to reaffirm what you already know.
Yeah, it gets you even deeper rooted.
It's like a cult.
Yeah.
It's like a cult. It's like, it's a very cultish sort of online situation we have going on. Like if you are into Instagram, right? If you're into Instagram and you're like seeing scantily clad women, and you're going to the
Jade?
Oh, Jade, I didn't know you were scantily clad. I thought.
No, she's not scantily clad, but
she's not wearing a bikini, no, I can't see beyond the glass.
Oh, right,
I'm joking. Jade is you're fine. I'm sorry, Jade. But I'm saying if you like seeing scantily clad women or any of this sort, and you're going to your Discover panel, then guess what? It's going to show you more scantily clad women. Like Twitter right now. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter. The Twitter right now, it would actually show you notifications, right? And some of these notifications are so out of whack to you, like.
Why you even telling me about this?
Why you telling me about this? Why was I considered for this post? Like, and sometimes it's really some slackness, right? And I'm like, why is Twitter? Because they want your engagement. They just want to go in the most extreme way that they could possibly go. You know what I mean? And it feeds you that over and over and over, and it distorts your worldview and your perception of what is going on in humanity. Like, if you're always seeing scantily clad women, then of course if you're in the red pill society, you're gonna be like, well, women are only good for blah blah blah.
Right.
It's objectifying to its most extreme. Men are only good for money. Women are only good for,
right.
For looking good.
Cooking.
Correct. For the jar, you know what I mean? And that's not right. It's
for the wonderful, ambitious personalities.
Amen. That is what exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
I'm so glad we have to come off the radio here because time has run us down. Thankfully, this is taking a very dark turn.
But Stephen, just for persons who may not, be familiar with your podcast, how can people just engage and look at what it is you've been producing?
Well, you could check out objectivelyincorrect.com. That's probably the quickest way because that's where all the episodes go up. But if you have a podcast app, just type in Objectively Incorrect. And incorrect is spelled incorrectly. Is INCOWRECKED. Rect as in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
So if you type in Objectively Incorrect in Google, you will bring it up. If you type it into Instagram, you'll bring it up so that you could get like links. If you want to just put it into your podcast app, then we're on all the platforms. So yeah, you could check us out there.
All right, man, and I'm gonna encourage you guys to go and do just that. Yeah, there's an array of persons from different backgrounds, disciplines, skill sets, views. That Stephen has been having these conversations with, and it's really cool, really cool. So go ahead and check that out, guys. But Stephen, unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show. But again, man, really appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us this morning.
No problem, bro. Anytime.
All right, man. He's done him anytime. I say he coming back.
No problem.
But guys, it is Friday and we have to go. We always wish people to be safe, but we always wish people to be safe, especially on the weekends. But I really just want to encourage people to really just pay attention. This morning I was on my way here and I was coming down Sandon Road. The light is green and I told y'all when I coming out, especially that stop, I still do the look left, look right. There's this guy just literally just flying down the Bay Road, like not really recognizing that he had the red light. And so just pay attention, guys. Pay attention. Look out not only for yourself, but look out for others. And deal with people with love and grace and respect. We don't want to hear about nobody getting slapped on the weekend.
And we aren't too big for apologies and conversation with friends, colleagues,
Jade, what you telling Timo to do? What you telling Timo to do?
Me ain't said that.
What you telling Timo to do?
I ain't said that. No,
We
I
here
did
trying
not.
to end the show. You start
You know
up the
what?
politics talk again.
Bye, guys. See y'all on Monday.
But guys, I appreciate you so much for logging in and being a part of the conversation this morning. Whether you join us on Facebook, YouTube, winmediaskn.com's website, tune in on one of the other digital platforms. We appreciate it. If you listen to us on your radio, you guys are the real MVPs. Make sure you turn it up loud, disturb the neighborhood. They're gonna thank you.
Good noise.
And it's not that's music, Jade. What we're really saying is that island tea in the morning is music. But guys, I appreciate it so much. You guys joining us. Take this weekend, get some rest. Hail out to the people that you love. Tell them that you love them. Don't wait too late to do it. And guess what? We're gonna see you on Monday. Remember, guys, spend more time living your content than posting it. And you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you're not a mug.